Stop allowing age to stop you from living. All right, y'all, so it has happened. I have found a gray hair. Right there. Like if this was like 6 years ago, I'd be freaking out, right? I'm like, oh my God, mortality, right? Like, but I'm chill, I'm calm. But I realized that there is a lot of pressure placed on women to not age at all. Like men talk about like women hitting the wall, whatever the heck that means. You know, we're always told to dye our grays and to hide our age and to be coy about it. And, you know, it's something that we should be ashamed of. But I really want to talk about aging gracefully. Like, why can't we age gracefully? Why are we afraid of aging? Yeah, like, what are we missing? Like, what's happening? If the truth is that if we're only young up until 25 years old, that means if I live to 100, only 1/4 of my life is spent being young. And so it's like, so does that mean I not live for the other 3/4? Like in youth is something that is glamorized and idolized in this country. Like, but you know, you look at all these other lists about like the 25 under 25 and the 30 under 30. And I realize that it is this sick and kind of depressing mentality that people have towards people growing older or people aging. And so I went to Instagram, Facebook, on YouTube as well, and asked people how they felt about aging. And I'll share those thoughts with you in another video. But right now I want to talk about how we can age gracefully. So you see it in the commercials, the anti-aging creams, you know, the Botox lifts, like all the things that are, you know, pushing people to look younger and more youthful. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. But I just wonder why we're so obsessed. Like, what is happening? Like, why are we so afraid? And I feel like on one point, when I was 25 and I was having my quarter-life crisis, I was struggling with death, right? It was very specific. It wasn't about aging necessarily. It was about dying. And I realized that the older I get, the closer I get to my death date, which is like pretty morbid, but it was really freaking me out. And I couldn't shake that. I couldn't shake that grasp. And I was also thinking about, you know, people I love passing away, my best friends, my mother, my father, you know, my brother, like things like that. Like, what is it going to be when I'm 70 years old and the people that I knew growing up are not around anymore? These are things that I was struggling with, right? And then also as an artist, on the other hand, I was struggling with being relevant. I was struggling with this idea that I am an older artist at 25 and that if my dreams don't come true by 25, then they're never going to come true. And so this is something that Taraji P. Henson was told in her leaving DC to go pursue acting. They told her, you're 27 years old, you have a baby, nobody's gonna wanna hire you, all these things. Like, and she didn't believe that lie, and she went, and now look, Cookie is everywhere. She's in everything. And I just wish that more people had that same tenacity, that same grit to pursue their dreams and do their things, even as they age. Because the truth is, age is not anything but just saying how many times you've revolved around the earth, right? How many revolutions you've spent around the earth. That's literally all age is saying. It doesn't mean that your worth goes down, your value goes down. It doesn't mean that, you know, your talent goes down. If anything, you become more talented and more worthy because the wisdom that you hold and the experiences that you've gone through have made you a more rounded person, a more experienced person. And so, you know, in a lot of other cultures, besides the Western culture, older folks are hailed as like celebrities. They are the people. They have the wisdom, right? We respect them, we honor them, we hold them in high regard. But here in the Western culture and society, we look down on older people. Hello, friends. So I am editing the video and realizing that I forgot a huge part of this video. And I wanted to talk about briefly the benefit of you caring about your age. The only people who benefit from you fearing aging are businesses who sell you products to make you look more youthful or to have a youthful glow, these kinds of things, like the cosmetic industry. These are the only people who benefit from you caring about your age. You know, it's a multi-billion-dollar corporation, if not more. And so they benefit from people feeling insecure and not good enough because they're marketing products to improve ourselves. Another person or another people who benefit from you playing small because of your age are people who want you to play small because of your age. When you feel small and unworthy, you don't advocate for yourself. You don't stand up for yourself. You don't demand what you're worth, right? You don't go for your dreams. You play into a system that is not created to benefit you, but other people, be it the workplace or, again, market. Like, these are the people who benefit from you playing small. Even with ageism in the workplace, These people don't necessarily think that younger people are better. They just know that they probably have more time to mine them of all of their energy and resources while they're young. The older you get, the more secure you get. That's what I find. And so the older you get, the more sure of yourself you are. And so when you demand what you deserve, that's when it starts becoming a problem, where younger people are less likely to demand what they need or what they deserve because they don't know any better. While you have put in 30, 40, 50 years plus into a company, they can pay a younger person less for more work because they don't have the experience and they set up the system and where they fail. So I want to remind you that your age literally has nothing to do with your worth. It is literally a program that we have bought into that says the older I get, the less important I am. And because we believe it, that's why we feel like we're less worthy. That's why we feel fearful about aging. That's why we feel, like we have to be young, like we're not good enough. It's because we've been trained to benefit other people, and only other people benefit from you playing small because of your age. I have a theory, and I could do more studies on this, but my theory is that it goes back to capitalism. It goes back to capitalism. When you buy a car, for example, right? They say it depreciates in value as soon as you drive it off the lot, right? And when you hear even manosphere people talk about women, they say their value decreases as they age. But we look at people like a product and not as people, not as souls. We look at people as something to be sold and bartered, right? And this is going back to slavery. It all goes back to slavery. I've been reading about how older enslaved Africans were treated during that time, and how, it wasn't allowed technically to get rid of older people just because they were older. Like, you had to give them something. So they would send them. So while they couldn't, pick cotton anymore, or, rice, these kind of things, they would put them on different duties, or they would send them into like a town to beg for money to earn their keep. So we look at older people the same way. What can they do for me, right? Ageism in the workplace, right? What can they do for me? Like, we look at people not as valuable because of who they are and what wisdom they have. We look at them based on their productivity. We look at people based on how much money they can earn us. So again, that's why systems are in place, so that people who are older can't be turned down for a job just because of their age, or fired because of their age, not officially anyway, because we all know that, forced retirement is a thing. So we look at people like a product. We look at something that is used, or something that is, worn down. And it's like, how disgusting of us, right? And I even asked this question: what is the real appeal to youth? Like, you're young. If you're only young for 25 years, 18 of those you're in school. You're of no use to anybody, right? You are a dependent. And so that means that you only have 7 years of actually living life. If we're really using this to clue in how valuable someone is, 7 years life experience is not that valuable. Like, based on 50 years experience, I would much rather that than 7 years. But the thing is, like, we glorify, we idolize youth. You see it in competitions, you see it and especially in the art industry, in the music industry specifically. And as a woman, I was struggling with my getting older, my body changing, right? Or my sexual appeal to the masses changing. And which is really kind of gross, because it's like this glamorizing youth and over sexualization of younger people is really weird for me. And so, we think that a woman cannot be sexy at 50 years old or 75. And I see women killing it every day though. I'm like, are y'all looking at the same thing I'm looking at? Because they look amazing. One other thing I forgot to add is that age is relative, right? When I was 15, I thought that by 30, I would be old. And then I'm now at 30 and I'm realizing how young 30 actually is. And if you ask somebody who is 80, they will tell you 50 is young. And if you ask somebody who's 100, they will say 80 is young. So we're always changing the goalposts, even with ourselves, because we really don't even understand what it means to age with joy. Like, it's something that should be feared. And so it's not until we get to an older age that we realize, oh, wow, I really was young, And so again, I think that age is relative. And if age is relative, then why are we allowing it to stop us from chasing our dreams, living the life we want to live, moving, traveling, doing the things that we actually want to do? If we realize at 50 that 30 was young, why at 30 then are we allowing, or why at 50 then are we falling into that same trap to say that we're too old? If we know that we're living and time is passing either way, you should still do the thing. Time is going to pass either way. That should not stop us from living just because we think that we're too old to do something, because it's not true. It's a lie. But I was buying into this idea that my gift was only valuable until I was 25. And so if I'm trying to get signed by a record label, maybe, but if I'm making my own career, that doesn't have to be the case. I follow a lot of artists who are in their 30s, 40s, 50s plus, right? I listen to a lot of music from Motown, and a lot of them are older, if not, if they're still here, a lot of them are older. And so I find them valuable. I want to sit at their feet and like soak up all their wisdom, all of their experiences. And I just wish that this culture had the same mentality around getting older and older people. Sadly, we see people being thrown out of their houses, being put in nursing homes because we want to get rid of older people as if they're a problem. Even during slavery, older people were held in high regard by their own people. I was reading this article and they were saying, Frederick Douglass actually said that when they approached an older person who was an enslaved African, they took off their hat, they used manners, they spoke to them kindly because they understood the value that they held. They understood how important they were. They understood respect. By us being blended into westernized culture, we've forgotten that respect for older people. We've forgotten that we held them in high regard. We've forgotten the joy and the gift that is older people. I love asking older people about their wisdom because I need that, right? They have something that I need. And so while we want to, parade around our youth, and we're really crapping on older people, and it's really disgusting because we all age. We will all, Lord willing, get to a place where we will be old. This negative attitude we have towards older people will be reflected on us. And if we don't change society, we could be thrown away. I'm not afraid of aging anymore. I'm not afraid of aging because I see so many Black women aging and doing it well, living their best lives, having like a second wind of life. I see women older than me, 30 years older, 30 years plus, living a life that it looks like so much fun, so much freedom. They don't care about what other people think about them. They are free. They're not wrapped up in all the like minute, stupid details that we're wrapped up in. We want to be approved of so badly. And they're like, you know what? Y'all don't like me anyway. I'm gonna do me anyway. And that can only come from age. They're wise. They make the right decisions. That can only come from age. Their confidence comes from their aging, comes from living experiences and choosing a life that is meant for them. I felt this pressure growing up to be included in a 30 under 30 list. And if I wasn't on that, then I didn't matter. I didn't count. And when I heard that hit 31, it kind of like hit me like, wow, I'm never going to be on that list, right? Like I'm never going to be 30 under 30. And I talked about this before in another video about how SZA may have lied about her age, because she wants to be younger. And a lot of people, she got a lot of flack for that, but we don't realize the society that we've created for them to live in, where their sexual appeal and their marketability goes down because their age goes up. And this is literally not how anything else works in the whole wide world. Like it's really just us that use and abuse people until they can't give us anything else anymore, money-wise, right? Because older folks are a wealth of wisdom. They are a well of wisdom, and it's something that we don't tap into because we don't find them valuable. And we have to talk about ageism and also sexism, because I see the opposite with men, right? Especially with this manospheric, stupid points that they be making. They say that women's value goes down as they age, while men's value goes up as they age. Now, okay, but we see sexism being played out with ageism. Women are over sexualized. We know this to be a fact, and we don't realize how often it plays out in everyday life because it's not something we're actively thinking about, right, as a society. But as a woman, we know that it's almost like our sexual appeal equals our value in society. It's because we live in a patriarchal society. So it's men, determining who is valuable and who is not, right? They're determining who is sexy and who is not, and why they're sexy and why they're not, why people qualify and don't qualify. And I've talked about this before. Black women, stop playing this game because you're never going to win. You're never going to be pretty enough, light enough, dark enough, thick enough. It's just, or now you're too thick. It's just, don't play the game. But the point is that a lot of the reasons why a lot of women are afraid of aging is because of how men make women feel about aging and how we make each other then feel about aging. What I realize is that beyond death, my fear isn't about aging per se. It's about my value going down in society. That's what my fear is. My fear is not about getting older, having gray hair, or, maybe having a little crick in my bones or none of that. Like my fear is my value going down in society. It has nothing to do with the process of aging, but more about how it's viewed. And especially as an artist, as a singer-songwriter, where they want you to have a certain appeal that I'm not necessarily sure that I play into necessarily, but I know that my music has value. But if they're not interested in hearing my music beyond what I look like, I know that my chances of making it are kind of slim to none if I don't play that game. And so I'm opting out of that game to make success to be successful in my own eyes. Because in the music industry, you see men, they seem to have a longer ability to make music. You could be 65 still rapping about the same stuff, right? You could be 65 and talking about the trap, 65 and still talking about women and all these other things. But it's almost like once a woman ages or has children, they don't see women as something valuable anymore. And it's really unfortunate, because there are a lot of talented women I know who don't pursue things because they think that, oh, I'm too old for that, or I'm a mom, I can't do that, or, I'm 35. It's like, what does that have to do with your talent? What does that have to do with anything? I want to live in a world where the shame is removed from aging. I spoke to one of my friends, Alexis, about her becoming an elder in an interview, and I'll share that with you right here.
Youth to me is not, I'm not hankering to hold on to youth, right? Yeah. Like, I'm hastening my elder self. I'm like, yes, like, wait, I'm like, gray hair, come in. Yes. I'm like, I want it. Like, I'm like hastening that. Not because, there's a particular kind of elder I want to be, right? I want to be fly. I want to still be I want to still be limber. I want to be like all those things. Yeah. I want to be healthy. I want to be able to like move around, do things I want to do in the world. Yeah. And there's a role in the world for elders, and I want to be that. Some people get to their elder years and can't step into their role of elder because they haven't healed enough. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't want to be that elder. Yeah. I want to be an elder. I don't want to just be an old person, right? I don't want to just be a senior citizzen. Yeah. I want to be an elder. I want to have something to contribute. Yeah. I want to have wisdom because I've done the work, right? Yeah. To heal and to like be creative and to like be supportive of other people's dreams, right? I don't want to be a crotchety old woman who's like talking about people and causing harm and all that stuff, whatever, because God knows I have endured enough of that, right? Like we all have them in our families, in our churches, in our communities. Like we all have that. Like I don't want to be that. And like my work in my 40s is about okay, so then like what else do I need to heal so that I cannot be that, and so that I can be an asset to my community as an elder.
And I thought her thoughts on becoming an elder was so beautiful. Like she's not running from it. She's opening her arms, embracing becoming an elder, embracing the fact that she is getting older, and she is the keeper of the secret, so to speak. She's the keeper of the history. She's the keeper of the wisdom, and how she can use that to benefit her community and her family. But ageism doesn't make sense, because technically the older you are, the more talented you are, the more experienced you are, like the more wisdom that you hold. So what does it really mean to age gracefully? Does it mean applying hand creams and, anti-wrinkle creams and serums and, getting, facelifts and Botox? Maybe that could be for you. But I think aging gracefully has a lot more to do with our mentality around aging, our mentality around our elders in our community, and how we realize that the more that we live, the more experience we have, and the more valuable that we become. It's literally like aging backwards, right? And me and my husband watching this other video where he was saying, when you say you get a year older, it's actually a new age. It's not an old age. An old age is an age that you've actually passed already. So 19 years old is an old age for me. But a new age is like me turning 32 next year. Like, I was like, oh, what a concept. Again, people are aging gracefully out here. I don't know if you've seen it. 75-year-old women are killing it. 85, starting their whole life all over at 100 years old. Not seeing age, again, as anything, but how many revolutions they've done around the sun. It's really not that deep. It's really that simple. Age is what you make of it. And age can be used to your benefit, not your detriment. You can opt in for choosing to celebrate aging, to choose to celebrate aging people. And therefore you create another system, another community that when you reach their age, you'll be welcomed with high regard and honor. If you create that culture within your own families and friends and society, you then win in the end as well. If we unplug from capitalistic ideals and ideas and mindsets, we make more room for love and generosity and kindness. We understand that as a community, we can take care of one another. If we put all our resources together, there's no reason why anybody should have to go to a nursing home. And I understand if people need help, if someone might have Alzheimer's or some sort of illness, that kind of thing, or you need extra help, I totally understand that. But we can create better systems where elderly are not thrown away, but they're taken care of and being integrated into community, into everyday life. Stop allowing age to stop you from living. Your age has nothing to do. As long as you have breath in your body, you can still live. You can still live. Life is for the living. You are not dead. You are alive. And it's time that you stop looking at age as something to be feared and, ran from. It's something to be embraced and celebrated, because literally there are some people who did not make it to the age that you're at today. I had a friend from high school die at 19 years old. She never saw her 20th birthday. And I'm sitting here worried about aging and turning 35 and having kids. And these are things that she'll never be able to experience. And so age is a gift. Age is a blessing. There are some people who might not make it to where you are today. Take time to celebrate every single day of your life. What's really heartbreaking is that so many people stop living before they die. So many people stop living because they think that age is a limitation. They think that they're too old to do something, or, oh, I'm too old to take that dance class. I'm too old to sail the world. I'm too old to learn anything new. And it's like, you're still living. As long as you're living, you can learn something new. You can try something new. You can literally you have more freedom to do what you want to do as an older person than a lot of these younger people out here, because we're broke. We're broke. The point of this whole video is to live, to do everything with joy, with fullness. Stop worrying about age. It's so silly. Stop worrying about your age. You are infinite. You are not a number. You are infinite. You are an abundant being. Your age has no hold on that. This year, we're letting go of things that no longer serve us. And I'm letting go of things that no longer serve me, and worrying about a number on a birthday card, or, filling out forms at the doctor's office has no bearing on my value as a human being, as a woman, as a Black woman. Like, I am invaluable, and nothing, no age, no experience, no kids can take away from that value. If anything, it increases my value. And it makes me more valuable to my community, to myself, to other folks, because the person I am today is not the person who I was at 25. And I thank God for that, because I was all over the place. The person I am today, I am proud of her. And I'm proud of the person I was at 25, because I was just figuring things out and getting things together and doing the best that I can. But I'm sure in 10 years, I'll look back at my age now and be like, you know what? I did that thing, and I'm doing the thing. And I want you to have that same mindset with yourself as you go through life, as you travail, as you conquer, as you age, because aging is a blessing. The literal definition of age is how long something or someone has existed. That's literally the definition of age. And so live fully, live joyfully, live with ease. Go live today. But first, if you want to learn how to live with ease, check out this video I did about how to live with ease. And I'll talk to you all in the next video.